Education, the value of it is super important to Anytime Fitness, and also I think help me get into the position that I'm in too, because it's both being a trainer, improving in your career, and getting better at being a trainer. Is you have to have a foundation of education, but a lot of it is also like sessions under your belt, right? Like, so how many times you put your eyes on bodies, you learn and you learn and you learn and you get better. And so a lot of our education is based in learning principles, programs, even our training philosophy, and then taking it the next step, and how do we actually apply it, right? Because there's still this big gap, not so much, not with what you guys do, but I think like traditional NASM, ACE, ACSM, it still feels like even after all this time, there's a gap on what we learn and then what actually happens once we're in front of a person or 20 people, right? So it's super important for us that we have trainers not only have the heart for training, but also the smarty pants brain. So we want people to be in line with what we believe, which is making sure that we are focused on the longevity of movements for our clients. So we want people to move really well forever, for a lifetime, not just in the time that we get them in the gym. We want them to have healthy hearts and immune systems, be relatively pain-free, have recovery as part of their plan, and making sure that we are building resiliency through strength. Again, back to that body-mind connection. So we provide endless opportunities and education partnerships for our trainers and our franchisees to continue to learn, because this industry never stops. We never stop. We have like, these are the things biologically we know we have to have. But it always feels like as soon as we're like, yes, we've arrived, we're here, then we're like, oh, now we're over here. So it's like we can't ever stop. Like, we always have to hit, put our foot on the gas on learning more, getting better, and improving over time.
Yeah, I mean, there's still cutting edge research being done on like muscle types and on the nervous system and all this stuff. And it's not like I think geology is more of like almost like a closed science. It's like we kind of know everything that we really need to know there. But the human body, I mean, that's another final frontier, right? Like space is a final frontier. It's like going into the mind. It's like, whoa, it's crazy. And that is a major player in this thing called movement. So it just makes sense. But yeah, I loved your perspective on that. And man, I just met so many people that you said, it's like they have a heart for it, but they also, they come in like always a white belt mentality, ready to learn, not like, oh, I got it figured out. Cause I've met, way too many of them. It's like they know just enough to get them in trouble, but they think they've got it all together. Mainly me in my 20s, right? 20 stupid years old. I got it all. I know it all. It's like, bro, you got a lot more. And now it's like, what I've discovered, and it seems like that's been the prevailing attitude of the anytime gym owner, the anytime trainer, right? It's like they're coming in and they're like, the more I learn, the more I realize that I have way more to learn, which is awesome. I mean, then it's about being present in your journey, where you're at in your journey, as opposed to like you said at the beginning, trying to make it. Oh, we're just going to make it. All we got to do is learn this and then we're good. All we got to do is get a cert and we're good. Right, Rachel?
You've arrived.
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, you got it all. You're perfect. No need to, yep. Well, and I love what you said about, knowledge is great, but applied knowledge is really where it's at. And so you can learn the theory, right, in the textbooks, and that's really good. But until you start applying it, to me, which what you said, the mind body, there's so much psychology going on in every single group session, one-on-one, whatever. And obviously, it seems like with some of your entrepreneurial stuff, as well as, the stuff with Anytime, like you're right there and loving it, like wanting to like get better at that piece. What are some of the things that you have done to really improve how you approach people? And because Anytime, I mean, you're getting every kind of type of person, right?
Mm-hmm. So we and myself included, we encourage curiosity, and we actually even have some courses for our franchisees and our trainers to take on listening. And I know it sounds crazy.
Oh, I mean, maybe to the listener, but not to me.
But it's so important, when you're trying to connect with someone, and when you're trying to have true authentic empathy and understand them. You have to be able to listen. And a big part of being a trainer, right, if I have to take in all this data, right? We gather all this, your medical history, a movement screen, we have bioscanners and heart rate monitor. We have all this stuff where we can collect and gather all this data. But again, application, it doesn't mean I still need to hear the story of the person, and understand who you are, where you came from, how you got here, and why you're here, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to so much talk to you about like how many burpees you can do. I want to remind you of why we're doing what we're doing, and why it's important to that person. So a lot of what it comes down to is, I always, especially when it comes to people, I mean, everyone has ego, right? But I try to leave that out of it and just shut that off and listen to the person in front of me. And it's helpful too. Like I love people. I love stories. Like I could sit and just hear people talk all day, which is probably why training makes sense to me, because that's a lot of what
Oh
it
yeah.
is. But yeah, but we really do focus on the human aspect, the person in front of us, and trying to help them navigate this space, because there's a lot to it, and there's a lot going on. And the more we can narrow the scope and say, okay, here's what I'm hearing from you. Is this right? Talking back to the person, the better plan that we can create together, because that's super important. It's not the trainer's in charge and then you do what I say. It's we're a partnership,
Hmm.
and we're doing this together. So there has to be this open exchange of communication.
Oh, that's beautiful.